I looked at compLexity's lineup, and the first thing that just came to mind for me was just armor. That was the first thing I thought. Like, their entire lineup, apart from Lina, she's the odd one out. You might be seeing 3 heroes on the Radiant side running around with like 40 to 50 armor in fights. They have the War Cry from Sven. Let me try that again. The War Cry from Sven. Apparently that was a tongue twister today. For 20 armor. Timbersaw's passive, of course, also maxing out at 20 armor. Then they have Weave. And they have a Dragon Knight who innately has a lot of armor when he gets Dragon Blood up. And this makes me worry a little bit for EG, because when you look over their side, the vast majority of their damage is actually physical. In the super early game, of course, Flame Guard from Ember can be powerful. But come mid-late game, EG will have to rely on Razor with his ultimate and just right-clicks, as well as Ember Spirit Sleight of Fist to get the job done. I'm simply worried that we could reach a point here where compLexity will be able to push the base at 25 minutes with all of their armor just stacked up, and EG can't repel them. I love compLexity's draft for this matchup. I think it's way more one-sided of a draft for me compared to game 1, and EG, in my opinion, have to play a really good game.
It feels like the polar opposite of like a Husker as far as the way the hero is built, and it's compLexity who can just stand alive with a huge amount of armor. Of course, though, Timbersaw hasn't been the most popular of heroes of late, also because of the age of the burst damage. Another good reason why to have that Lina picked up by compLexity nice and early on. There's nothing like that. Like, there's no Finger of Death, there's no Laguna Blade just to bring him down before these armor charges start to stack for the Timbersaw. He said it maxes at 20, but it still could be brought down before that. Everything from EG is pretty continuous until we hit the Ember Spirit having like huge amounts of damage. But that's only if you get there.
Yeah, we might see in this particular game SumaiL considering a Deso build over a Battle Fury, or maybe he's going to get both. But I think this time around, EG simply need to address that problem at some point in the game. If their early game doesn't go incredibly, so they just get really far ahead and don't really have that problem, they will need to itemize. They will need a Cuirass, they will need a Deso. It's really good to get it on the Ember because he gets all the targets automatically with his Sleight of Fist, so they can apply the Deso to all of the heroes. Alternatively, could consider it, of course, on Universe Tusk. It's not that uncommon of an item on that hero.
Owie, real trouble on bottom lane. The Light Strike array from Flying was able to connect. They need more damage to kill him, however. There's a Stout Shield, but then again with another second Light Strike array! compLexity open up the account. They claim First Blood, and this is not the way EG wanted to start this. Because the Observer was that were down from compLexity, they saw where EG was shifting their lanes. They saw, okay, the Tuskar's moving back up the top because he was trying to dodge the Timbersaw, and already compLexity have preemptively noticed that EG are going to switch this. They've actually brought the Timber down to the bot lane. Universe just can't catch a break.
This is a very... I feel like this happens pretty rarely, but it's a very logical play. Moon Meander got pressured in the top lane, and instead of TPing back to base or TPing to his safe or his off-lane tier 1 tower, as we usually see off-laners do in threaten, he just immediately TP bottom. They knew they wanted the lane swap immediately, so he kind of gets, like, he solves 2 problems at once. He escapes a gank and gets himself into a better lane with 1 play. And now this top lane for EG, I'm not so sure about this for compLexity, actually. I think Razor Naga has a lot of potential to kill a Sven Lina lane. Sure, they've got a decent amount of spell burst, but if they don't get the full combo off and put fear really low very quickly, the Naga and Razor can just run them down with Static Link and, of course, the Ensnare.
That's why it's interesting to watch how they're just prepping themselves on the lane. So Fly starts with the Light Strike array, then you go into something like the Stormbolt, so you're able to get that second stun off. Instead of just having the Sven throw out the Stormbolt and go from there, SumaiL might be in a little bit of trouble here in mid lane. Pushing back the Flame Guard and having a PMS does help. There's been a lot of trade-off in that mid lane. But SumaiL still found a very large chunk of farm as that Ember Spirit, 14-1 up against that DK, who's got 8 for 1 currently.
Yeah, that's the good thing about this pick for EG. We've talked...
Fear. They're going to split up the lane right now. Fly knows he could be in a little bit of trouble. Freak's going to babysit him all the way out of here. There's no ensnare for Naga. She's still only level 1. So they move the Sven back over again while I'm hearing a little bit of chains in mid. Swindermelons is fine. He's a DK.
What I was getting at, this lane in mid is actually a very good lane matchup for Ember compared to a lot of the matchups we see. The reason Ember mid is played pretty rarely in competitive Dota is that he's just a weak mid laner. He can get pressured very well by long-range heroes with harassment such as Queen of Pain and Lina. But Dragon Knight can't really put out the same amount of pressure. You Flame Guard and you just take the wave, and you can try to break the Flame Guard with Breathe Fire, but that doesn't cut it. It's not enough to remove it. So,
but then again, does he have to? Like right now, it almost feels like the Dragon Knight just has to sit there farm it up as much as he can, and just don't die.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because the other lane's doing their work. Timbersaur's actually gaining momentum as a solo hero in this lane. For me, I think that's as scary than anything else that EG's going to be facing.
This is definitely what compLexity is.
Stormbolt, top lane, they go on Fear. Fly will get the Light Strike array as well with the Poison Touch Fear. He won't have the movement speed to escape. Evil Geniuses. They're down 2 kills to 0 here in the early stages of game 2.
Very good movement here from Z-Freak and Zizzy after the stun combo, making sure they get the maximal damage out of the Shadow Wave. Getting 2 targets with Shadow Wave, dealing some good physical damage to Fear, bringing down the Razor.
Okay, I want to ask you about this. PPD, he's in the jungle for 4 minutes now. Found 3.5 levels, went to 2 points up in the aura. Does PPD come out and actually be a presence on this top lane? He's only got Frostbite right now. When does the Crystal Maiden become effective? And I'm asking this as well because I'm just thinking when it happens, PPD is just going to end up feeding himself.
He's going to need to find the best way for himself to have an impact while getting farmed. I think this is the kind of game where it's really important the Crystal Maiden gets farmed.
Middle lane, SumaiL.
Trouble.
Dragon Tail stun. He gets the Flame Guard up, however, so he's able to tank through a lot. There's actually turn on to Fly. The Burn's doing his work, and Swindamelon's putting his body in front of him.
Level 3 Flame Guard blocks 350 magic damage, so it's both spells from Fly as well as a Dragon's, or a Breathe Fire pretty much. They need to get through that in the first place, and then, well, they haven't really damaged him. But yeah, what I was going to get at is that I think the CM in this game has to get farmed to get a good ultimate off, because as mentioned, they will need to get some sort of magic damage in order to pierce all the armor. So PPD's involvement in this top lane should be, he should try for ganks when there's a really high probability of success, but he shouldn't come in just to harass. It's not going to be worthy of his time. He has to find a way to build toward a Glimmer Cave, for example, or something that will enable him to use the Freezing Field later on in the game. But full-time jungling is not good either. It's actually really slow on Crystal Maiden. It's deceptively slow.
There's a spin opening right now, but he missed the chains, and that means SumaiL can turn around, goes to the Dragon Tail over on the Tusker, Fly with his follow-up stun, but not enough life to really stay that close to the Ember Spirit. But this is the first rotation out from the Tusker. And Universe unable to find the opening while on bottom lane, Warcry. Sven just trying to outrun Fear. He saw 28 points of damage, but the creep wave also went so far behind the tower, the Fear was forced to back up. He had no more support there.
So far, so good in the early game for compLexity, in my opinion. Sven is not finding that much, but neither is Razor. Like, the nature of this lane with how they're pressuring each other, a lot of CS will just be lost. And the effective trade-off is Ember is getting a really good mid lane for the Timbersaw getting a really good safe lane. And I think this is a very, very good Timber game. This hero shreds Ember as well. It's something we haven't talked about. By having 3 abilities that can potentially deal pure damage, of course Whirling Death depends on a tree, but the 2 others are guaranteed pure. They pierce the Flame Guard. So Moon Meander can very quickly make work of SumaiL if he gets out of position.
Searing Chain's going again here. SumaiL, he's got Spirits to commit if he wants to go after Swindle, but coming underneath the tier 1 tower is not something he wants to do this early on. Let's actually just do a Timber Shake, because we haven't had a Timber really in a while. What's the item build that Moon Meander is looking to do in this game against EG's heroes as well?
I think if you get this much free farm, you're probably looking for Arcane Boots into Bloodstone. It's an item build that's so effective on Timbersaw because he gets so much armor from the range.
Spirit, Snowball, he's only got 1 point up for the Dragonflight. The double TP's on the way, and it's actually Moon Meander coming in. He finds Universe, but he's more damage. He's not going to find it. Dazzler's a Shallow Grave himself. SumaiL, Spirit's up, and he's actually, is that even on the high ground? I don't think that actually is. Oh, it is. It's just on the edge. He'll go on while Aoi 2000 looking for some other revenge. Here's TP out. Will it be in time? No, it will not. Moon Meander will find the kill. It was still, however, Sven also dying on the top lane during this engagement. So EG find a better trade-off.
Yeah, this is very important. They don't only get 2 for 1, but they also force a rotation from Timber off that bot lane. So a little bit of farm gets lost. Moon Meander, however, did get 1 kill there, so I guess that kind of evens out in the end. But I'm actually surprised he didn't try to go for the Ember Spirit a bit earlier. When he TP'd in, his target of choice was the Tusk, who had like full health and should easily be able to escape. Whereas if he hits a Timber Chain there and catches SumaiL off guard, he might have actually been able to blow him up. But probably just respecting the ability of his opponent. Would, expect a fast Fire Remnant into Jaunt, or what's it called, Activate Fire Remnant. That's actually a pretty boring name when you think about it. Fire Remnant and Activate Fire Remnant.
Well, as Blizz says, inventive names. Was it the Dragon Knight? It's the Blue Dragon. Doesn't even have wide eyes. A complexity. They were trying to move around, and like Timbersaw was thinking about going up to top lane. There was a little bit of indecision, so he stuck around in mid, fakes the chain against SumaiL. But this let the DK have a little bit more space on bottom lane. Went to Dragon Form, Swindlemelons, and he dropped that tower down by a grand total of 52 life. So maybe not as effective as I was initially thinking it was. But he's at least able to find his farm down here. It's quite safely. So catching up on the CS, I say catching up, we're still sitting at 3k net worth, which is only 300 behind that of the Timber.
And this is overall just a very even game right now. Like, no one has a significant gold or experience advantage, and in my opinion, this just plays into complexity's favor. Like, again, the way they've tailored their lineup, the time they're supposed to peak, if they get through the early game without too many troubles, Crystal Maiden's going to fall off unless she does get very good farm, which is definitely not the case right now for PPD sitting on 8 CS. The Naga Siren has not had a major impact. AUI is 0-2-0 with 8 CS, so the supports of EG falling behind, and the cores, that's the crazy thing, right? Even if EG's cores get really good farm, it just seems like complexity from a draft standpoint definitely have some very good solutions if they play it right. So,
well, it's actually kind of funny though, like you bring up the CS factor, you've still got PPD, like most of these creeps he's taken are the big ones in the jungle. So he's only just off level 6.
Yeah.
So it's not as bad as it could look like in the numbers, but yeah, it's not terrific either, saying these supports are going to do a lot of SumaiL. It's going to get forced out by Mumianda. He doesn't have a lot of mana. There are 12 1 charges, so we could jump for it, but really he was trying to keep him away from the runes. Speaking of that, Universe going to find himself an Invis rune, and instantly DK Swindle is forced back. In fact, he's just abandoning bottom lane. Which is where, again, doesn't this feel the same as like game number 1? Aoi has himself a bit of a slow start in the Naga, and then all of a sudden finds himself space on one of the lanes. Before it was the safe lane, now it's going to be the off lane.
Yeah, they're going to need Song. It's very important. As always with support Naga, reaching level 6 is a really big deal.
Universe moving forward. They put the sentry ward down so they can see him, but he missed the shot. Snowball down, and Z-Freak needs a shallow grave quickly. Cannot get it off in time. And this means that it is the first kill coming in for EG for this mid-fight. The Swindlemelon is keeping on the back of Universe. The Sigil is going to make this difficult to keep the chase going. Especially now as Spanish arrived, he's going to walk right up. They can force the issue on the tower, SumaiL. He's still got 9 1 charges, and in fact now has a full bottle as well. So he's still looking good to defend this.
He needs to be careful.
SumaiL's gonna triple. Oh, that's a lot of spirit, but then the stun. And Swindlemelons, he's gonna get flipped by the Walrus punch, and the impact's there. Locked inside the shards. This time though, Dazzle will be here, turning on the God Strength. They have to protect Ben, and there it is. They keep the shallow grave on him. He is ticking down in a moment. It's SumaiL. There's just searing chains. They turn for one more stun, but it's still a double kill for SumaiL. EG getting the upper hand in the mid lane.
Complexity, they really wanted to get that tier 1 tower mid, getting a little bit too greedy for it here with Swindle, as well as Sizzy simply just got surrounded by with PPD's rotation there. Good rotation in from the left.
Dyer's
so kind of
bottom tower
sandwich them
is
there
under
at
attack.
the mid tier 1, and that's going to bring PPD up to level 7 as a matter of fact. This is a high level CM at minute 12. As mentioned earlier, his farm isn't that good, but he's still going to be able to pick up his Tranquils now. Probably, as mentioned, going to be looking for a Glimmer Cape as his next item of choice in this game, potentially. It's also possible he's going to be even more ambitious and look for something like a BKB first, just to guarantee his ult, because there's no BKB counter in this game for complexity, and that will allow a guaranteed ult, which, once again, I think is going to be absolutely crucial for them.
Yeah, they need to slow down all these melee heroes running around, but still, one person who's not going to care about that is the Timbersaw. He's still able to move by Timber Chain. And again, complexity, they're going to force the issue here. The Dragon Form comes back off cooldown. So you could just pop this and have the tower tick down. You would put the peril of a denial, which would be a decent amount of money taken away from complexity.
And it looks like EG are expecting this. They obviously have a very good high ground ward right now, seeing both Swindle and Z-Freak. Universe is supporting it in anticipation of the push, but it's actually not coming just yet.
He might be worried also the fact that Fly went missing from the top lane, because they smoked up. So it's the movement coming in from complexity. They walked a little bit further to the side than Fear would have actually broke with the smoke, but they go in deeper. They're searching for the Crystal Maiden, and this should be an easy pick-off. Just turn for the stun. Fly a little too far away. Should be able to still hit the Light Strike array, but decides, you know what, maybe not the possibility. Go Laguna as well as Slade. SumaiL the Spirit jump down. The Searing Chain of Fly, who again, attempting a TP out, will not be in time. but the Sven will be able to survive. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, the push just keeps coming in. Same for mid lane. Dragon Form kicks in, and Evil Geniuses. They managed to walk all the way down. In fact, they're just going to go for the snowball. Where's going to come from SumaiL? Not enough mana for it. Even with a 3-1 charge, a very early Shallow Grave from the Dazzle. And there's not much more he can do here apart from a quick heal. Timbersaw will arrive in SumaiL. No mana with the Whirling Death, but the Tusker, the Shards are able to connect. He finds the kill on the DK, and now the Timbersaw's dropping as well. And EG, they brought in all their friends and had a party on compLexity's corpses.
They are just so greedy for this middle tier 1 tower, and EG are taking full advantage of it right now. This is very, very important for them to get a head start in this early game. And Razor being involved here as well is going to speed up Fear's mech, which I think is coming out soon in a very big pickup against this Radiant team that has a lot of AoE burst damage. SumaiL has eyes on Zuzi. They will need some sort of secondary TP to set this up though, but there'll be a counterplay in here.
Well, there's your Searing Chain, SumaiL. He can't find this kill, not now that the Dazzle is up here. But he can at least force Zuzi out. Then again, Spirit jumps in, he's got Searing Chains up. But again, with the Dazzle behind him, Shallow Grave was on cooldown, but has come off cooldown now. He would have forced the issue just a little bit too long if he pushed for it. The Shallow Grave would have stopped him.
I'm going to play it safe here. SumaiL will now be just getting farm on the top lane. Looks like he's going to build for a fast battle fury here. He's not going for any drum build-up, which I think SumaiL's item build on Ember is generally different from the norm. We see most Ember Spirit things like 50-50 between phase and treads, but a lot of Ember Spirit players favor getting the drums as a build-up item to get the, especially both for the mana efficiency, but also for a bit of range. In this game, they do have a CM, so almost brought that one over to Universe.
And actually managed to get the Charlotte off again. Universe, perfect position with the Tusker. Sharding back through, but Sven kept alive for the moment by the Shallow Grave. Not a healthy man by any stretch of the imagination, but Meander forcing EG back, but it's just SumaiL and Universe teaming up together to cause problems. Fear, middle lane, Laguna Blade, as well as the start with Free Fire. Dropping down over PPD with a Frostbite, as well as the Nova. Bought enough space, just enough space for him to TP out to safety. The Tusker will die on top. As I was like, Meander was able to catch up to him.
Yeah, I caught that one. It looked like, so EG getting a little over aggressive in that. Oh, wait a second, SumaiL. Okay, he's got chains. He should be okay.
There's Soul Ring off cooldown in 2 seconds, so if you want to go deeper, you could.
But yeah, they tried for the kill with Tusker, but Dazzle had a heal, and then, being next to Timbersaw and trees is generally not a good thing.
SumaiL's attacking, he's after the Timbersaw, and then again realizes that the Lena's going to be here. Light Striker early, he'll find a little bit of time, but Fly's dead here, is going to burn no matter what. The Dragon Tail Sun also trying to assist his teammate. But Fly had no way out of that riverbed.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
This ward on the top lane is doing so much work for EG. They see all these rotations. They know exactly who's coming in and when. They might be able to hold the tower because the Dragon Form just expired now to Swindle.
Under attack.
They do have a glyph
Radiant's
as well.
middle tower is under
They come in from behind. Smoke on EG Universe and SumaiL. Who's he going for? Who's the bigger target? And look, he just makes a run straight for the Dazzle. He wants him to waste the Shallow Grave over on the Dazzle. In fact, he couldn't even get it off. Down for the count. Owie now with the Song of the Siren, keeping Sven away from him. This will waste a lot of time of that God's Grace. But now Timbersaw also coming back to fight, putting down the Chakram. So there's one way to get out for PPD. Just lets it go from inside the tree line. Sven, they can't walk away fast enough. The Shards lock him in. There's 2 down, and SumaiL looking for more. Chasing after Meander. Owie ensnares back off cooldown now. He can stop Swindle for the run. So can they get closer to the final field damage as well? Little fight to a snowball. Swindle that DK turned around, but Universe down for the count. 130 lives still on that DK, but a slight of fist from SumaiL will ensure the kill. But he's looking to even go deeper than this, but maybe hold the reins and pull back on this EG attack. He has one chance. Meander jumping into the tree line. Searing Chains. That's a dead Timbersaw. Knows just how far he can push the limits. And compLexity didn't think he could. That's why they stuck around.
Yeah, SumaiL is getting so much in this game. It's just the snowball effect from the beginning he had in that mid lane, and very adept at playing this hero. This is going to be an 18-minute battle fury on Ember Spirit in the mid position with Treads and Aquila. I think this might be the highest GPM we've seen in this tournament. 18 for an Ember, so definitely scary here for compLexity, who seems to be losing Swindle Mouse.
Yeah, they're going to lose more. SumaiL comes up. Z-Freak got to get close enough to it. Swindle Mouse controlled by the Walrus Punch. Still trying to stun out of here. Z-Freak has to use the Shallow Grave on himself. SumaiL just hanging around so he can slide a fist him down, able to do so at the same time as Swindle will drop. EG momentum galore as now Spirit jump in again. He's got slight fist searing chains, gets the timing for it. SumaiL actually stops to buy while he's looking down. The snowball comes in from Universe with a perfect chance positioning for Timbersaw. Looking for some revenge. SumaiL doesn't have any spirits remaining at the moment, so he can't help out that way. But PPD, the frostbite's going to be there. SumaiL again with the Spirit jump down, slight fist searing chains. He's going to get the kill on Sven. Boomy enters here, but SumaiL again, no spirits, but 19 launch out to the shards. The perfect positioning again from Universe. PG, it's a splendid display of Dota coming from them.
They're taking so much advantage of how good their lineup is, just at kiting, re-engaging, because they don't want to go for that full-on 5-on-5 where they get comboed by Breathe Fire, Sven Stun, all of Timbersaw's spells. They're simply just using SumaiL to just buy time and kite around, and by the way, to steal a couple of ancients just for the heck of it.
It's to the glory of PPD.
Quickly getting out of hand.
Radiant's top tower
compLexity, the game plan was working fine for 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden, EG just entered hard mode.
They started getting kills. They really, like the push for mid lane is going to be something which we'll be coming back to for a while. Where it just poses the question, how, like, what was the cost for that push on mid tower? And even then, it's the only tower that compLexity have taken so far, and it was denied by the Crystal Maiden. So it wasn't even a full tower coming their way. And there's Timbersaw, like maybe that's where we should be looking. The Timber is the left field pick. So can he do something against this EG lineup? Can anyone do anything against SumaiL? When he's 10-0-4, so much momentum. He misses the, actually hit the slider fist, but didn't get the searing chain. Radiant Spirit jump up. There's your slider fist searing chain on the Sven. Still that Dragon Tail stun into Dragon form as well, but PPD not in range for the frostbite. SumaiL just keeps going. Slider fist searing chain kills off the Sven and locks down the DK. Shallow Grave will keep him up for now, but PPD looks for the Maiden's channel the whole way, but DK will not be there to watch the end of the show as he TPs back to base. Where are you going, Fear? He's looking for the stacks. He's got the Eye of the Storm Turn on 140 points of damage stolen, so he's got confidence.
Yeah.
SumaiL again.
The entire map right now. Dodge the stun.
He's still getting my Laguna Flame, but and snowballing in. This is just getting completely out of control for compLexity. SumaiL is locked inside a coffin of ice.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Again,
under
they
attack.
find two more and they just blink forward again. Spirit still steering chain back off cooldown. Again on two. I feel like it's a broken record right now. Broken for compLexity, that is.
By the way, as well. Just, there's a little bit of a bonus. He's playing pretty well this game.
Just, yeah.
Solid Ember performance so far. Maybe he missed a CS early game or something. Then he did that wrong.
You scrutinize that missing of CS, Dendred. Severe critic.
This is an absolute showing of what this hero can do when it gets momentum, and that's why, you know.
But it's even before it got momentum.
Yeah, so if compLexity look back on this game, they're like, where did it go wrong? They just have to look at how much they let SumaiL do in this early game. They gave him an easy lane. They didn't really. The bit of pressure they tried to put in mid lane didn't work.
Again.
It's just really taking over the map right now.
It's crazy though, because most of the time, like the older issue with the Ember Spirit was he just took too long to get online.
Yeah.
Like you'd be thinking 22 minutes, I'll get my Battle Fury, and then maybe I have my Chrysalis by 26, 27, and then slowly you'll come online to the point where you do a lot of damage. We're 22 minutes in, and he's managed to get 12 kills and 5 assists out of the 20 kills that EG have gotten. He wasn't involved in 3 of them. Every other one was SumaiL either initiating, which is going to do even more now as he picked up a Blink Dagger. In fact, just having more fun. Then he gets SumaiL. This could be it. This could be a huge kill. Dragon Knight claiming almost 1,200 gold for that kill. SumaiL will have buyback. And the problem is a tier 2 tower as well, just like buys this.
They could really catch them off guard with a TP song right now, or just a walk-in song here now. He's getting a really good angle. They might just concede the tower.
There it is.
It's gonna sink
Dyer's
after
middle
they use the
tower
tower.
has
This is
fallen.
very awkward. It's just gonna be like, oops, and
It kind of looks like indecision, but if they blink and then just more punch the Timber Saw, okay, not gonna happen. He's got 17 one charges and a regeneration room.
EG, they need to be careful. I mean, they're really far ahead on gold, but once again, as I mentioned, in my opinion, just looking at the drafts in isolation,
Radiant's
complexity
bottom
can beat
tower
them in a
is
team
under
fight, even at a
attack.
gold deficit, I think. It's all about the initiation and about Moon Meander being able to hit stuff with his spells. Definitely tanky enough once Swindle gets one or two more core items on his way. Well, just one more, actually. He's very, very poor right now, sitting on only the Blink Dagger 24 minutes in and a Bracer.
Dyer's middle tower
He
is under
needs some
attack.
sort of health. Armor is definitely not the issue here. If they just get a lot of health on all their heroes, it's going to be tricky for EG. But this is a good item for UI. Being able to apply the -10 armor with Solar Crest is definitely going to help out and probably give them a good shot.
Yep, it's the perfect timing for it. It's kind of interesting though, like we do see the Blink Dagger on the DK. And the flags with the complexity just don't feel like he got any level of initiation, and DK has to do that for him before he builds into these techie items. So they try and come out and at least do something against this EG lineup whenever they possibly can. Right now, Roshan is there. The movement's coming
Dyer's
over
top
from
tower
Moonmeander.
is under
Universe also right in front of him, so in comes the Chandra on the pit line, and he cancelled out! He was meant to Timber Chain back off cooldown. It's like, you know, he could have actually waited a little bit longer on that one, but Bloodstone Denial will be what happens.
Yeah, you're right. He actually could have waited because all the stuns were on cooldown, but he's not going to.
His Timber Chain would have also come back off cooldown as well. He could have tried to chain back up the hill again.
It's actually, well, he was probably dead. Like, the escape paths he had there were not really that useful. But you're right. He could have at least tried for a little bit longer.
Especially considering that tier 1 tower is currently sitting within deny range. That's 61 life on the tower. Like, all you need to do is have Sven walk up there and hit it twice. And in fact, the TPs are already coming in from EG. At the same time, no one feels anything. SumaiL the first one. Started to breathe fire. Now the God's Ring. Need to kill him, and they do it. Alwi again. Very late on that Nagasaran ultimate.
And the tower. But this is
Fear is here, though.
definitely gonna cost them.
Fear is here. SumaiL's going to go for the series. Chasing the Dragon Tail stun. He's got a little bit more crazy in the free fall. Universe coming low. They need to keep them up. It's just not possible for complexity. The Shadow Grave allowing Ben to continue to fight, but being frostbitten and sigiled and slowed. He just can't reach the target to hit it. Lucky to get out.
I think PBD was
Radiant's
really
top
close to
tower is
frostbite
under
there.
attack.
SumaiL also had Slap Fist on cooldown, so he couldn't get in range for the Searing Chains.
This is really, really good. It's a very good comp. 100% agree with it against this particular team. I think Desolator on Ember is not as... in a way, it should be better than it used to be because it's cheaper
Radiant's
now.
top
But at the same
tower is
time, the
under
way you
attack.
build up Ember, the way you plan out the game, you generally want the really hard-hitting crits over just solid, stable damage. But in this game, they simply just need all the minus armor they can get. EG are reading the draft here perfectly. And both the Crest and the
Radiant's top
Deso
tower
as early
has
as
fallen.
possible.
And EG, you didn't really expect anything less from them, even though it did look very, very hairy during the first 10 minutes of game 1. But they've come back, they're showing they've got the brains in the game, and Fear, he's got his own BKB now up and running.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Complexity can't let this happen. Like, the Sven's not getting anything. Like, the last item he picked up, I think, was basically 15 minutes ago, and it wasn't even a Mask of Mana, it was a casual Morbid Mask. He's trying to get into a Blink Dagger so they can keep up with the rest of the team, while on bottom lane, that Snowball's going to keep chasing up Moonmeander. He doesn't have mana. The TP out in Universe. Actually caught on the other side of the tree line. Still will get there for the Walrus Punch. Had to chain away and do this the hard way. The Shards will lock him in, but again the Timber Chain onto the other side. Universe with a Blink Dagger of his own. Body blocking up the Timber Saw. Another chain away, but Snowball as well as Shards back off cooldown. But they're in range of the tier 2 tower, while Swindlemelon is actually dying to SumaiL. Spirit jump inside, fist him one second time. That might almost be enough. Jumping over into the war cry will arrive in for Sven. The Stormbolt as well, but once again, Blink Dagger disjoining every stun the complexity try and throw out.
He is. You know what kind of game it is when Ember is soloing your Dragon Knight. That is not good.
It's a rough game.
Here.
It's a rough game.
Radiant's middle tower
But this tier
is
2
under
tower
attack.
also, days will be numbered. Because even the push down for EG is getting stronger. Removing 7 armor from these buildings whenever SumaiL connects.
Yeah, and you can imagine Fear might be thinking of Axe as his next item in this game as well. Has the BKB as well as mech and drums, so very utility.
Unless they try and counter the full armor and goes into something like an Assault Cuirass.
Yeah, that is That's what I mentioned. They need an AC as well. The question is what hero gets it. It could be Fear. They could technically get on SumaiL. I think that would be a mad choice. Tusker is not the worst either, but he's very far away. So yeah, I would agree. I think AC is better than Agatha in this game for the Razor. Although that obviously also applies minus armor, but it's way less reliable and it's not for all the heroes at once.
SumaiL is going to go for the damage. It's Crystallis now. What was it, 28 minutes? I said it was meant to pick up Crystallis, but with a Desolator to boot too. And there's that Blink Dagger over on Sven. So complexity, they really have to try and find some openings. There is an observer that's watching Fear farming right now. And Mumianda will arrive, but it's a little bit too late. The rest of EG grouping up together. They might try and retake their jungle away from the complexity players. At the same time, I'm seeing SumaiL drop down to a Spirit. He's just heading down south. He runs into the Radiant jungle to find more farm. And complexity, they're being worked across one side of the map to the other.
Radiant's bottom tower.
They want to find initiation, but they can't find EG.
They're just struggling to find openings right now. It's what they need. I think fighting is what complexity have to resort to because there's Sven as far behind as he is. This hero does not play well from this kind of deficit. He has 74 CS at minute 30 because he chose to safely in the Timber.
Radiant's bottom
tower the Razor on the other side, 200 CS on Fear. And AUI, we haven't talked so much about him so far, I think, but he is slowly just climbing up. 106 CS on him, Solar Crest 1800. He could start looking at a Radiance if he wanted to take it really late.
Oh, they found someone. Winter Melons. Snowball's coming in against SumaiL. Right there at the right time, and it will be the Ember Spirit to take the kill on the DK. Now pushing him up to 15 kills, 6 assists for his 1 death on SumaiL.
This is a very good play. Oh, there's a ward. Okay. This could have been a very good play for EG, but the ward saves Fly here. I think Fly was expecting they would start pushing down mid. SumaiL was still showing in the mid lane there, but they made a very quick rotation with both CM and the Tusk. Still looking for Fly here, by the way, but he is a honor.
See how confident EG are when they start stacking the Radiant Ancients for SumaiL. There's just nowhere on this map that's safe for complexity to move unless they're together as 5. And even then, I would question it. Because the closer they group up together, the more powerful SumaiL becomes. They start their defensive warding. So they can see when EG try and force, like, if they're just trying to attack from the side when they attack into the tier 2 tower, then complexity will get some vision on that. But how do you counter-initiate this Ember Spirit? If you can't Stormbolt him because you're going to blink your Spirit away, Light Strike Array with a Yule set that seems to be optimistic at best.
Their only engage is Blink stuff for Dragon Knight.
That's it.
It's the only thing they can really rely on right here. And they need to rely on that or catching SumaiL by surprise. If it's not looking good.
Oh, the double! The double over on Fly as well as Z-Free. It was a blink into a Sleight of Fist searing chain. He caught both of them, and now Z-Free tries to run away too. More Spirit jump down for SumaiL. Let him have the hit. It's a double kill for Ember Spirit. They're just feeding. They're feeding the fire that is SumaiL.
That was really interesting because you can see the immediate thought process of Universe as he snowballed in there. So he wanted to go for a Wall Rush punch on the Dazzle and just kill him. And then he realizes, wait, there's Grave on the Lina. She's porting out. If I just move over and punch her, we can easily chase down with our Ember Spirit. I think a lot of players in that situation would just be like, oh, great, there's Grave on Lina. Let me just kill the other girl with Wall Rush punch. When there's 2 kills. By switching his target, very well played there. Good detail from Universe.
Smart play by EG, and now complexity. Their main being attacked with the balance. The snowball comes in. It's just going to be Universe in that. Meanwhile, up on top lane, the God's Strike was triggered by Sven trying to run down their tier 2 tower. Now trade up, but you've given up 1, your DK, and 2, your ultimate. It will not be available for this fight with EG up holding. Another try to build the tier and chase Z-Free, throwing by half his life. And even more of his armor.
He's trying for an aggressive 4-step there, but Mumianda does turn away.
He's trying to keep it back to the rest of EG.
It's still crazy, right? They have a team with so much armor. SumaiL is just so far ahead that
he just jump in.
Look at this damage he can output.
With 1 hit, he removed half of the life of Sven. I don't think he wants to turn on that Mask of Madness. It's almost suicide underneath this Ember Spirit.
It's gonna. Complexity are going to have to try to go for a smoke gank and find some million if they can.
We have Aghanim Scepter. We have the Aghanims up for the Timbersaw. So double Chakrams to try and defend the high ground of complexity. But EG didn't really care. Roshan's going to spawn up in roughly 30 seconds from now. So they'll go in, they'll take it. They don't even like, you can give this to what? Razor? He's not even coming close to dying right now. You could potentially give it to SumaiL because he's a little bit of a glass cannon, but compLexity also haven't really come close to killing him off.
I would definitely give it to SumaiL. It gives him a lot more flexibility in the fights with how he can engage. He'll be able to open up very aggressively, set up for different kinds of fight. And even should he die after with the Aegis, as long as he just gets a fire in and out, he can even buy back and port our back. Or never mind, he can.
Moving hand up. Fear.
He's a good boots of travel carrier though, so you can look for
Moving up after him. Still more stuns available. There goes your Warren Pass, but Timber Chain can just be used right now to get away. The double Darkrooms are down. Timbersaw frostbitten, and then also the CM ulti. They'll force a denial out with the Bloodstone. But there's your Aghanim Scepter we're talking about over on Razor. The push power is now real for EG, if it wasn't real before. Where is SumaiL going? He got the weave off. And it's negative armor on him, but he's actually at negative 20 right now. But even then, killing off this Ember is next to impossible. Sven is now at the point where he just to try and creep skip the top lane. Some level of pressure for EG to look behind them and worry about what's coming. Fear won't get there in time. Sven will be able to TP. But on bottom lane, SumaiL is actually SumaiL that can basically do this solo. At least his defensive spirit, but he's got help. The Tuskar's there, Universe. There's your defensive spirit jump out. It was on purpose to bait compLexity to come out further. Universe is backing on up, hit fly with that snowball because of the Yorkshire stuff. But the Stormbolt connects with the Laguna Blade. They get the kill on SumaiL. Fear will stand his ground, but he's draining a lot of damage away from that CK, looking to inflict into the rest of compLexity. They just keep fighting with Darkrooms down. Rumi Ember now frostbitten up. He can't go anywhere until he chains forward. The Grimacade flying to make the Fear. Just keep running out here as Universe back to the fray. SumaiL right in the front line. Z-Freak, perfect shadow grave, keeping himself alive with SumaiL. He's got Fighter Fist up as well as Searing Chain. He'll look for the double. He only gets the one. It's over. The damage should be enough to kill him off before the TP. In fact, just ensnare him and then bring him down. The Snowball chasing up Rumi Ember, the sole survivor of compLexity. And even then, he may not be that for long. No, he gets back into the base. But the creep wave's coming in, and EG will look to bottom racks.
Look at the health of EG's heroes and the fact that SumaiL bought back. That fight is actually fairly close. They're 25,000 gold behind.
Radiant's bottom
and 25,000 experience, and their lineup can still put up this kind of fight. This is first on action against the dire lineup with the Aghanim Scepter pickup. He's doing so much damage here. The Sven actually got to attack a little bit in that fight as well, but they're flat. They're simply just too far behind. Like, imagine that kind of fight on even footing. It's an easy 5-0 for compLexity. Just run them over there. They will never die with their heroes. But EG, they've built themselves such a big, great early game that, unfortunately, in my opinion, we don't get to the real potential of compLexity's draft that I absolutely love in this case.
It had a lot to work with, but
it had so much potential, but you need the execution too. It's just not going to cut it.
But EG, they fought back. They've done it perfectly, and now they take for a shot. They'll give Ember Spirit the Aegis, the Immortal will drop now. So you have an Ember Spirit at level 20, 22, 36 minutes in, having a terrific time. And they look for the openings, compLexity. Smoked up, BPD's the close one. But he did an invis room, they didn't see him, they see SumaiL. But the jump is still going to be real. SumaiL, the Song of the Siren, last attack! The last attack blows the Aegis. It's up there, but he shards, watching him walk compLexity, fights SumaiL. They load him up, and they bring him down. That's with the dive back. compLexity, this is their moment. But how much of a moment have they got? They haven't lost anyone. PPD, the only one paired off. But Rumi Ember with the Darkrooms, he's following them down. The front will keep PPD back down. He's back in again after Fear. But again, the loading's on. All they got, Fear's still alive. They Glimmercade from the front. They're also low. Z-Free, they still keep fighting. Universe on the front line, doing it for Tusker. And a triple kill over for Fear. They catch up to Rumi Ember. Universe will take it. It's a team wipe. They could almost be the game right now with EG wiping compLexity out. They dealt with the Ember Spirit, but EG, they have a 5-man roster.
Can't put me out that easy.
That was an incredible snowball in the end by Universe. If that doesn't,
Radiant's
if he doesn't get that one out, I think the fight just goes the exact opposite way. compLexity could have cleaned up multiple heroes there, but in the clutch, EG are so good at these, like all these micro plays with like Glimmer Caves, Force Staffs, Lotus Orb. here again, the snowball from Universe making a really big difference. This is 2 lanes of racks. I don't think compLexity has any chance of holding this. It's very, very aggressive with PPD.
Eyeball starts aggressively in by PPD. To the front line, you've still got Laguna Blade. Finally got knocked yet. He's just trying to get away from the Dark Reapway whilst Wintermelon is starting. The Chakrams can't find enough space to room the ender. The Universe so low as they pull in the double Chakrams. The Sentry Ward's down to keep tabs on the Tusker. And EG will now back up. They do significant damage to the melee ranks, which will regenerate.
compLexity do hold it, but it cost them a Dragon Knight dieback, actually. He died immediately after there. Very aggressive TP from SumaiL. He might have felt like he had to sacrifice himself there to keep the barracks alive, and to be honest, it might actually be worth it. I think the focus for the Radiant is, like, if they're obviously still hanging on to the hope of winning this game, I think they shouldn't farm the Dragon Knight. Like, he is not going to become relevant unless they win multiple team fights in a row. So for him to buy back to save even just a melee reps, I think is the right call here. It's the Timber that need to get items, especially the Sven. If some sort of relevant, like even just a BKB at this point would work wonders here for Zizzy.
Hey, just look at the lineup. And
got a Crest too now on Dazzle.
The second I just see him getting a BKB, I will look to control him as much as he can or isolate him while he triggers the BKB. They just pop up this vent nice and quick. And while he doesn't have that BKB, there's Fresh Heaven's Halberd, which is picked up over on Noe as well. Like, Sven's worst enemy right now is the Naga Siren. Everything she does just destroys what he does.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the problem. Even with a BKB, you can still get the snare just shut down with the rest of the team put to sleep. But it's the path he has to take. There's no other option. They're basically very, very cornered here. And EG are looking to push them off the edge.
Coming in. SumaiL the first one, Slider Fist and Chain getting used over on that Timbersaw. With no reactive armor, charges being built up. It hurts like hell. And fear, but the ulti on, there's another Slider Fist steering chain over on Ruby. Blink forwards with the balance, catches out Fear. That sentry wasn't longer there, and now he just stops the fight. And in fact, they got Sven and DK right on that BKB. Wintermelon dying so quickly. I don't even see how that Sven instantly topped, but Wintermelon, the Telegrave keeps him alive. The SumaiL runs backwards, it's a double kill for him. Fly may even just turn from this. But with the charge coming in, yep, they'll be ready to take it. compLexity being farmed up inside their base. I don't know if they're going to have the same mindset about game one, where they just fight to the bitter rounds. And EG are so powerful right now, they'll kill off every single player of compLexity. The fact that Z-Freak is inside of his fountain isn't even a saving grace. They will take the mid racks, they've taken bottom racks, and they will look to take the full series here, EG, and push themselves into the semi-finals of the international fight. SumaiL wants blood, and Z-Freak is almost going to give it to him.
What an incredible game from them this one. There are just so many small plays that they built over the course of this game. It wasn't like just one single big team fight you could say won it. And all of these 3-on-3s, skirmishes, small fights, basically outclassed compLexity on pretty much every single move in this game.
They really did. It was a superb performance of Dota. You could look back at it for a while. I know a lot of EG fans will, and compLexity will have to study it as well, as they will now drop into the lower bracket of TI5, while EG await